Hello, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are around the world, and a huge welcome to today's Postgrad Insights session, which today we'll be focusing on accommodation with Fresh Living. Now, if you have any questions or any concerns, please place them in the chat facility at the top or bottom of your screen, depending on the device. Alternatively, if you have any questions that you'd like us to use towards the end, please put this in the question facility, in the Q&A facility at the top or bottom of your screen again. Now, a reminder, this is a live session, so if you have any questions, please ask them live. If you're watching on social media, please put it in the messaging facility, depending on the social media company you are using. Now, without hanging around for too much longer, I'd like to hand you over to Linsey at Fresh. She'll be accompanied by Courtney, who is based in Sheffield. But if you guys would like to come on at this moment in time, I'll be handing over to you, and I will be back for the Q&A towards the end.
Gareth, good morning everyone. Hello from wherever you are around the world. My name is Linsey. I am the Head of Customer Experience for Fresh. I'm joined today by Courtney, who is one of our fantastic general managers who works based currently in Sheffield. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what it's like to live with Fresh. So in terms of what makes us different, we're an award-winning agency. We have accommodations across the UK. And it's our mission, as you can see from our Chief Operating Officer, to make students feel like they belong. Living with Fresh isn't just about moving away for uni for a few months. It's about creating a home away from home, finding your friends, finding your future. And remembering Fresh is a really great place where you sort of found yourself. We are also award winners. We've had over 30 awards in the last few years, including this year when we won the Private Housing Award for the UK and Ireland in the Global Student Living Index. We also take part every year in the National Student Housing Survey, which provides us with real data from real students who live around our buildings. And 87% of our residents have said that they love living with Fresh, and that they would recommend us to a friend. And that's real testament for us. That's, you know, where we want the data from is from you guys who live in our buildings. And we use that data and feedback to try and make our service even better every single year. In 2021, we found out that 69% of our residents felt that the residents teams really care about our well-being. That's thanks to our award-winning B programme, which Courtney will talk through in just a few minutes. And it really has been the platform for us to engage really effectively with our students and make them feel like part of a wider family. Our overall score for wellbeing, in fact, is 12% over the average for all UK private halls. As we know, you've got plenty of choice out there when it comes to choosing accommodation, not just through your university or through house sharing, but there's plenty of other companies like Fresh that do what we do. So to know that we're 12% above the average for wellbeing at a time when wellbeing is so important is really huge to us. In terms of choice as well, we've got over 60 locations across the UK and Ireland. So chances are, wherever you decide to study, there will be a Fresh location near you. And in a lot of cities, we have plenty of choice. So we'll have multiple locations that will suit your needs as best, whether you want to be in city centre or maybe further on the outskirts if you're looking to have the quieter life. We offer a choice of rooms, so we do offer studios and en suites, and we have fantastic facilities in all of them. Plenty of storage, which is so important, particularly if you're not living near home. We've got fantastic beds, so we've got the small double beds, usually with plenty of storage underneath those as well. We've got a really good Wi-Fi connection in all of our buildings, and you'll see that your rooms are always very spacious, including the social spaces within the like the kitchen areas and the living areas within your flats as well. In terms of study space, the majority of our properties have got fantastic spaces that you can join with friends, whether they live with Fresh or not, to have study time. You can have private meeting rooms. We've got kind of study pods. We've got Onyx, for example, in Birmingham, some fantastic solar pods outside where you can have views across the city while you learn. Other people prefer like a study booth where you're kind of hiding away and you can really focus. We've got those as well at Calico in Liverpool. We've got individual study booths that the students there really love, because they can just put their headphones in and kind of get away into their studies. At the West Wing in Cardiff, we've got study pods out in the garden area too. So there is plenty of scope out there and plenty of choice. And in terms of social spaces, as I mentioned before, we've got a fantastic array of social spaces that really enhance the well-being of living with Fresh. So if I think about Bailey Fields, where Courtney works, we've just had a big refurb. That was done off the back of student feedback. What did the students want in terms of social space? What environment worked best for them? And we've been really lucky that the work has been done there, and the feedback has been phenomenal. We've got sky lounges across the whole country. We've got one in Liverpool at Calico, one at Skyline in Bournemouth, one at Onyx in Birmingham. And we've also got, most of our sites have pool table tennis, Netflix TVs. We do cinema nights, games nights. You can order takeaways and just have kind of chill out sessions. So there really is plenty of scope for you to meet new friends in your new Fresh property, your new home, or also engage and link up with existing friends in a new environment. And as I mentioned before, you know, Courtney is one of our fantastic general managers. It's really important for us to make sure that you feel safe. And the key to that is having a residence team that's engaged, that really understands the student demographic, understands you. And we do that by making sure that we're engaging with our students. We're extremely friendly and open. The majority of our general managers have mental health first aid training, and we can identify the signs if you're not doing that well. Maybe you're struggling with your studies, maybe things aren't going well within your flat environment. We can always signpost you to some support, and we're always on hand just for a friendly chat if you need us as well. So that's the main reasons for choosing Fresh in terms of what we can offer you. In terms of the well-being side of things, the fantastic teams that we have, and the feeling of what it's like to live with Fresh. This is, you know, the kind of the boring stuff. We include all bills in our charges, so your rent is your rent. It's not like living in a flat with 12 other people where you've all got to chip in for electricity. Your weekly rate is what you pay, and all of our properties have super fast Wi-Fi. Every property is secure. We have either 24/7 security or out of hours support, and you are always safe within our buildings. We have fantastic locations across the UK, and all of the other items that we've talked about in terms of social events. We have a massive social calendar at each property, which Courtney will go into. We offer spaces for study, spaces for fun. And the thing that sets us off and the Fresh difference for us is our fantastic residence teams, and that really does make the difference. So I'm going to hand over to Courtney now to talk about the Be Wellbeing programme.
Thanks, Lindsay. So yeah, I'm Courtney and I'm here to talk about the Be Wellbeing programme. So Be Wellbeing is our wellbeing and lifestyle programme here at Fresh, and it's something we're extremely passionate about. The Be programme is an all-inclusive resident wellbeing and lifestyle programme, and it's built purposely to keep our residents engaged throughout their time here. It's something, again, we are extremely passionate about and extremely passionate about getting our residents involved in. So the Be programme focuses on creating a sense of community where our residents feel welcomed and they feel connected at all times as well. And it also aims to provide residents with resources to aid in supporting mental health and wellbeing as well. So yeah, as you can see on screen, the Be Wellbeing programme revolves around 4 key pillars, and each year we create an events calendar that centres around all of those pillars throughout the 12 months. So these pillars are Be Active, so this focuses on our residents' physical wellbeing, and it encourages our residents to stay active, healthy and energised throughout their time with us. Be social. So this is opportunities for residents to stay social, to get to know their flatmates, and also to create a community within their building. There's Be Connected. So this creates opportunities for residents to get to know their residence team, to get to know their housemates. But also Be Connected is strongly about community engagement as well. So this is also getting involved in the wider community, and that can involve sort of charity work and how we as Fresh and our residents combined can get involved and make a difference in our wider community too. And the final pillar is Be Supported. So this is just providing our residents with the support that they need during their time at university. So this is ensuring our residents get links to resources, blogs and information to help support students with their mental health. And it's also just making sure that our residents know that the residence team have an open door policy, and we're here for a chat whenever they need, and we're here to support them, especially as in our buildings we have a lot of international students where this really is home from home for them, and we want to make sure that we support those residents when they're over here so that they know that they've got someone there for them whenever they need it. So by creating these pillars that build the foundation of the Be programme, the main aims of the programme are to create a sense of community and to promote and encourage inclusivity, so making sure that every resident feels involved and included. And finally, resources. So just ensuring that our residents feel that they have the support and they have the access to the resources that they feel like they need to support them during their time at university. So here's an example of a Be calendar. So this is this year's Be calendar. And as you can see, there's something for absolutely everyone. And you can really see how the Be pillars are reflected in the 12-month calendar. So residents can get involved in as much and as little as they fancy. So, you know, if they're massively into fitness, they may decide in November to get a little bit more involved with Fresh Steps, which is all about getting active, being involved with, you know, exercise. So, you know, some of the events that we've had throughout the region have been, you know, scavenger hunts, step challenges, and, you know, fitness boot camps as well. So there's a really big wide event as a whole, but there's smaller events within that one theme where people can get active and can enjoy being active. And some residents may love learning new skills and decide to be a bit more involved in Grow It Fresh in March. So in March, we provide our residents with seed packs, and they can learn how to grow and take care of their own herbs. And also they can learn how to use those herbs in a new skill such as cooking and things like that. So there's something for absolutely everyone, and we do have a variety of events that will relate to everyone and everybody's interests. Next one, please, Lindsay. And we also want to ensure that we cover lots of different cultures around Fresh and around our events calendar. So we also celebrate things such as Thanksgiving, Diwali and Spring Festival. And that has just been Spring Festival, and we've had some incredible events throughout the company that are revolving around Spring Festival or Lunar New Year. We also build our Be programme calendar around what our residents want and around our residents' feedback. So we want to make sure that we're delivering events that our residents want to see.
I'm going to engage in a Q&A, and a few questions have come in, and a few questions were thrown at us before as well. So I feel it's important to just go through that. So one of the things I want to talk about before we go through that is mental health. It's a big thing at the moment, and I noticed Courtney talk about the Be.Wellbeing calendar you guys have got to get out and spend as much time as you possibly can, either getting physically fit, mentally fit, whatever. How important is that to a student to make sure they feel welcome and secure where they live? And as a result, does that ultimately have a huge decision on the student's mind as to where they stay?
I think it's the most important thing, if I'm honest, Gareth. We are really kind of keen on students when they are making the decision on where they want to live to come and see the properties, whether that be online through a virtual tour or in person, because, you know, like I said before, students have got so much choice these days. There's accommodation from universities. You've got other providers like Fresh who offer, you know, fantastic facilities like us. The difference that we have at Fresh is our people. And to me, it's important that when someone walks through the doors, they feel that sense of home. And when it comes to people feeling kind of active and mentally kind of well, a real key part of that is to have a program of events that is really tailored to you and suits you. We're able to do that, and we're able to make changes to our B calendar based on the students that we're having within our buildings. I think Courtney touched on it, but at Bailey Fields, where Courtney works, we've got a massive international demographic. So when it comes to Lunar New Year, massive party for those guys in Bailey Fields. We've got a property in Liverpool where we've got a really heavy Indian market. We've got, you know, over 400 Indian students. So when it comes to Diwali, that festival is massive, and that's all part of belonging. And you can only really get a feel for that when you kind of either walk through those doors of that property, or you've seen it virtually, you know, on a virtual tour. And you know when it's home, you know when you walk into a home and you feel it. And that's what we tend to get when we have people walk through our doors. They feel that sense of, this is where I belong and this is where I'm going to be happy. And that's not just as part of the process of you know, recruiting students. That's consistent across the year, and that's the purpose of the calendar.
So do you recommend to students then, in terms of, you know, they're studying their undergrad degree, they're close to doing their masters, they're not 100% sure what they study, do you talk to them about things like you mentioned there about the Liverpool site having quite a lot of Indian students? You know, Sheffield's got a huge international contingency there. Do you talk to students about that and make them aware, or is it a case of, like you said then, it's only really when they walk through the door that they know, or do you try and help them as much as possible?
Yeah, of course we do. We're really lucky in cities like Sheffield and Liverpool. We've got plenty of choice. You know, there's multiple Fresh properties across the portfolio, and we really will sort of tailor our marketing towards that, towards the demographic of the city. And I think what's really key, and what we've seen over the years, and I'm sure you'll agree, is it isn't just kind of first and second years who are staying in purpose-built student accommodation. A lot of the time, third years and postgrads and guys like yourselves have moved on into house shares. That's not necessarily happening anymore, because people want that community. People want the choice, the ease and the choice of all inclusivity in terms of their rent, and they want to feel part of a community and have a sense of belonging. So it's really important that you find the right sense of belonging to us, and that's why we ask the right questions at the right time in that process to make sure that we're kind of pointing people in the right direction.
And Courtney, can I bring you in at this point now, because obviously you're based in Sheffield and there's properties around that will suit others more than other people. Talk to me a bit more about, you know, what students can expect to do within, you know, let's say a 2-mile radius of the properties that you guys have got, because each property will be strategically chosen, no doubt, because either it's a good night out, or there's pubs around, or it's close to university, close to trains and coach stations. Talk to me more a little bit about that from a Sheffield perspective, because it's going to be the same in most cities.
Yes, so obviously I'm at Bailey Fields, I'm the general manager at Bailey Fields. However, we also have steelworks right across the road, so we're in very close proximity, and the location of both of our sites are incredible, and all the other sites that are Fresh in Sheffield as well. So for us especially, we have West Street, which is literally a 30-second walk up the road, so it's got bars, it's got restaurants, so if you're really into that social life and that nightlife, you've got that within a stone's throw away. And also that's great for safety as well, because you know that you're in a safe proximity to the building and you're safe getting home and things like that, because I know that's a big issue at the moment with students, just making sure that they actually get home safe and they've got a community around them where they feel like they can do that. So that's a really great thing about us and where we are in the proximity to that sort of thing. As Linsey mentioned, we've got a really massive international resident number in our building, sorry about that.
Right.
And we've got an amazing, so where in our building we're about 80% Chinese international, and we've got a great community around that. So we've got Chinese Oriental supermarkets, we've got bubble tea shops around here. So there's really that sort of side of it as well, where they can access the more niche things in the area, where, you know, if they want to pick up a bubble tea, because that's extremely popular around here, it's literally just a stone throw away as well. And we've also got, obviously we've got our in-house gym, but we've also got like fitness centres and things like that. There's yoga centres around here. So literally 2 minutes down the road, there's a yoga studio where they can go and do yoga and meditation and things like that. So in terms of the location and social life, it's amazing. But also in terms of the university, so we've got Diamond, that's a 2-minute walk up the road. We're actually right next to the engineering department. So if you're studying engineering at Baileyfields, or if you're at Steelworks, you can literally roll out of bed for your 9 a.m. lectures, which is amazing.
Very important, very important.
When I was at uni, I really struggled with 9 a.m. lectures, and I was literally a 15-minute walk away from the lecture theatre, so it was effort. Whereas here, you can literally just roll out of bed and roll into your lecture, which is amazing. So yeah, in terms of the social aspects, fitness aspects, and also how close you are to the university, the location is incredible.
And from a security perspective as well, you know, all what you've said, and Linsey, it's home from home, basically. They've got to feel welcome, they've got to feel secure and safe. So students, if they come into your property, I mean, you mentioned you've got your site, you've got Steelworks just over the road as well. If they're not happy with something, what happens? Do they come down and talk to you? Is there somewhere they can communicate with you? What happens? What's the next step?
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned previously, the residence teams want to make sure that we've got a really open door policy. So, you know, we're here for a chat no matter what. And if there's an issue with the property, if they've got an issue with their room, or if they're having trouble with their flatmates or anything like that, we want to make sure that they know that they can come down and speak to us. So if, say, they've got a maintenance issue with their room, they'll come down to reception and they will report it to reception, or they can report it on the app, which is really great, and it's really productive to be able to do that. So they can literally just do it from the room and send it to us, and we will report that to our maintenance technician, and he will be able to, within the time scale, go up and deal with that. But we'll also make sure that, you know, if there's wider problems, that they do know that we are there and available for them to talk to, and it's never, nothing's ever too much. We'll always make sure that we go above and beyond to make sure that our residents are happy here.
One of the questions that's come in, I know the answer to this, but I'm sure they obviously don't, is how do you cater for families? There will be mature students that will want to bring children, that will want to bring their partners. Where's the stance on that from a Fresh perspective?
Yeah, so it's challenging. So Fresh operates these properties on behalf of multiple landlords, and it really is kind of a landlord decision as to the type of kind of students that we have in the buildings in terms of families. We do offer studio availability to the across the whole UK, and that's one solution for kind of couples. So married couples will tend to come over and stay in a studio to study. With regards to family, though, the great thing about Fresh, which kind of sets us apart from the competition, is that we also offer what's called BTR, which is build to rent solutions. Across the whole of the UK, we are also operating properties where you can rent an apartment within a very similar setup to student, where you're living in an apartment block with multiple other people with social spaces and shared kitchens, etc. So if someone did want to bring a family, you know, it's not a close the door, no, sorry, we can't help you. There's the chance that even if we can't support you within a student accommodation block, we will potentially be able to support you from our build to rent portfolio. So we really do kind of offer that next stage for students who are not quite in work yet, but want to bring their families along as well.
Brilliant. And just to wrap up as well, I'll let you have the last word on this, Linsey. If a student wants to come on and they want to apply, you know, they've made their mind up where they want to study, what's the next step? How should they go about applying for a property? What do they need to do? Where do they go to the website? Do they reach out to you? Is there another website they can go through? How does it work?
They do. So I'd probably suggest the first thing to do is go to thisisfresh.com. There is a tab that's got locations. So just select your city and you can see the choice of properties that we've got in that city. A great thing to do is always check out the Instagram page for that city as well, for the city or for the property, because you'll be able to see the kind of events that are taking place at the property, and you can get a feel for the community that's there. Reach out in terms of filling in the inquiry form, or the phone number and the email address will be there. Reach out to the team directly if you want to as well. We will be happy to talk to you about what we've got in terms of a solution for you at our properties, and often we will invite you to come and have a look, come and get a feel for the team. I would say, you know, it is really easy these days for everybody to kind of sit and press buttons on a screen and put that kind of an inquiry through. Don't be frightened to pick up the phone and speak to one of our guys. They really are fantastic, and they will help you through the process as well.
Excellent. Linsey, Courtney, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. It's been an engaging session, really good. This will be on demand. So if anyone's missed any bits or pieces of this, please head back to our website, postgrad.com, where the video will be listed on there, or on our podcast channels on Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple Music, and the Q&A will be there. But for now, a huge thank you, guys. Really appreciate your time today, and hopefully look forward to seeing you guys again in the future. Thank you very much.